I think we're down to point 4 of the 4-point game plan. Do you want to pull out any highlights of point 3, David, before we get into 4?
I love the way it just point 3 puts you in a position to be bulletproof. You know, that coat of armor where all the doubt has been removed. You can't go forward if you have questions, and you know, for yourself. You did your homework. You're now bulletproof, and you're ready to go spread the word. Here's what I did before. Here's what I had before. Here's what I have now. Maybe this might fit your situation. Go from a client, observer, doer, teacher. Excellent, excellent point.
Yeah, this is launching your career. We want to make sure that happens right. Now, the 4th step is the money thing. This is what we're working down for. And the 4th point is race to part-time management. Our company, we use the district thing, but the idea is you want to develop part-time managers in your organization. And the reason why is you can't keep your recruiting growth going, recruiting bigger and bigger numbers, unless you you're able to develop managers quickly. And when you allow people to move into management on a part-time basis, the best and brightest can accelerate through the system in a matter of a few weeks or even less. They can be in a position to kind of help you pass on the training, keep up with people, and allow you to even process even a larger number of people as you go for different months. So the thing that I would point out is it's not good enough to just get people trained. If you want to have a big organization, to turn them into a team, we've got to get them some people. They've got to get some recruits of their own. They've got to get some sales under their belt. And the different criteria people use for that, it's up to what you use in your organization. They've got to get a few recruits. They've got to get a few sales under their belt. Of course, after they've got the license, got their license with the state, you got to get street legal if you're going to be in the financial service business. If you're not in financial services, you don't need that. But you got to have a license if you're in a regulated business. And so these things, you want to blast them out. You want to race through these things. You don't want to do them. You want to race to the other side, because once you get through to them, now you can get productive. Now you can flex your money, your muscle. You can make money. The beauty is you can make money 3 ways. You can make money selling yourself. You can make money training people, training new recruits. You can make money overriding. See, that's the magic of management. Overriding people that you have previously trained that are now out on their own making sales themselves. So now you have 1, 2, 3 ways, whereas when you start here, you only have 1 way. And that's why you want to make it a race, because the whole idea is to get you as much income, as stable income as possible, as fast as possible. And so this allows you to start with a team. You go from an individual to where you've got a team of your own. This is the start of your own business. You don't have a business when you're just a salesperson out here. This is how you start your business. When you have some people, when you're trained, you're working with them to produce. Now you're starting a career. Now you're going from the transition from just sales, where you're all by yourself, you're making the big jump into sales management. And the exciting thing about that is in sales, while it's still great, you can make some pretty amazing money in sales, it's always going to be limited with 24 hours in the day. No matter how you self-improve and how hard you work, you're going to reach a limit. So you have it's limited, because of the 24 hours, and it's insecure because if anything happens to you, you get a cough, a cold, or anything worse, or you have some kind of accident, or even if you go on vacation, that income dries up. So that's the problem with sales. Over here in sales management, because you can have unlimited people with you, you can have unlimited income, and you can have that other big thing, you can have that security to your income. You can have security because you might not be working because of one thing and another, but you can have an organization of people who are out trained working on their own generating income for yourself. So the quicker you can make the jump over to sales management, the quicker that you can start to mushroom the team that you have coming, producing in that sales management mode. So that's what the race is all about. So many times we say this and people forget race. And I'm going to do that in red. It's race. You want to double time. You don't want to you want to put everything else in your life on hold. This is such a big deal. This is such a transition. Right here, this puts you such a giant leap forward, even though you've only been asked to do some minimal things. These are minimal things that seem to knock out so many people. They quit before they even get started. So that's why you want to race. These are your enemy. You want to be, just like you've got an itch and you can't scratch it. You don't want to let yourself get comfortable during this stage. You want to be miserable. You want to tell your family, tell your friends, I'm on a mission right now. This is number one priority for right now. I've got to make something happen. I've got to change the direction of my life. I've got to prove to myself and the people around me, I can do this thing. We're putting the seeds in the ground right now. This is just like when a baby is born, those first few minutes are absolutely critical. They've got to get the swab and the eyes cleaned out, and they've got to get a breath, they've got to get some air in the lungs, and they've got to get inoculated, and all of this kind of stuff has got to go bam, 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 because they're vulnerable. See, this is your vulnerable stage. There's been a lot of time and effort to get you to this point, and we don't want you to get knocked out. And we don't want you like barely hanging on because you lasted and you turned into a salesperson and you've got a license, a sale or two, and a recruit or two. Well, you're just dangling in the wind. You're vulnerable. We want to get you over the threshold. We have found that the retention rates increase dramatically. Like overnight, the retention rates on people who get into their first management position. They're staggering how successful people are, how long their careers are compared to the people who never quite make it into that first management step. So, it may look like a little thing, but is absolutely critical to the rest of your career. And so that's why your training manager, everyone inside that organization needs to be focused on this. Clock is ticking. It's like a grenade's going to go off and wipe you out if you don't secure that promotion in a short period of time. I can't emphasize the race aspect, the importance of the race aspect of this enough, because it is literally a make or break issue. And David, you've had some experience with this as we wrap up the 4-point game plan. You've really had some experience to really learn about creating that sense of urgency in this fourth step, haven't you?
Yes, this is what we've been focused on, getting people to run fast, out the chute. Watch that tape of the failure trap, where most businesses fail because they just go too slow. Everything slow is painful, everything. A turtle on the highway gets run over. It's just and the retention rates have increased for us as we begin to race people to the management position. We've seen a higher retention rate. There was no retention rate before we got them into management. It just didn't exist.
Yeah, the thing is that when you're vulnerable, like you see these gunfights on TV, you know, and one side's got the other side pinned down, and then the guys that are pinned down, they need to race out, and they need to get back over to their car or something. So they say to the other guy, cover me, and because they're going to run out in the open. Well, when they're in the open, they're very vulnerable. See, that's where you are when you start a new career. All your friends and relatives are saying, yeah, oh boy, here you go again. What a dumbbell. You ain't going to do that. You ain't good enough. You won't work hard enough. You're not cut out for that. Things like that don't happen to people like you. It's nice that you think it could. Proud of you. But that's not going to work out. I mean, that just don't happen. That's just talk. You know, they have little ways of just sucking the life out of you. And if you think you're not in a crossfire, if you don't think one of those flaming darts of doubt from your relatives or friends or people you know will get you, well, you're liable to come up with one of those doubts yourself and just doubt yourself right out of the business. Whereas if you were in a hurry, you wouldn't have time to be thinking all of those thoughts. You would be using that energy to get stuff done and secure your position. Because it's amazing. Once you earn that promotion, people, I knew you could do it. I knew you were special. It's amazing how encouraging they are after you did it. And so that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you jump that gap. You're like an airplane on the runway. There ain't no time for telling jokes and this, that, and the other. Let's wait till we get in the air. Don't give me any sandwich. Don't bring any Cokes. Don't bring, let's get this thing in the air. Then we'll worry about other stuff. But until we get into the air, there ain't nothing on our mind. Because we got to clear those trees at the end of the buildings at the end of the runway. Well, that's the way it is for you. When you start this thing, that's why it's geared. This is why for an explosion. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to explode, if you want to be average, mediocre. You don't have to have sense of urgency about anything. Because it just don't matter. It's not that important to you. But if you want to do something big, you want to do something special, and you want to get it done as fast as possible so that you can start enjoying the results of your efforts as fast as possible, then this is absolutely everything to you. So Dave, did we cover this? Anything else we need to nail down before we turn this loose?
No, we got it all. That's perfect.
All right, everybody. I hope you got a lot out of this. That's the 4-point game plan, and we'll see if that satisfies everybody. If I need to do a follow-up or additional point on that somewhere down the road, but that should get you going on it.